What is going on, guys? MJ2005 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys some Gunpla news. Now, before I begin, the way that I'm going to be doing these from now on is that I'm going to be doing them at the end of each month. Unless it is something big in the retail market, for example like Build Divers Battle Log or something like that, then I'm going to be covering them on the video as soon as the news comes out. But if not, if it's just some mundane P Bandai nonsense, then it is going to be at the end of each month. So with that out of the way, let's get into today's video. First of all, let's start off with some eye candy, more photos of the Wing Zero EW Master Grade that's coming out in November that can transform into the Neo Bird mode. Next up, we will have a clear version of the Woodward over here, Gundam Base Tokyo exclusive, which is kind of an FU to P Bandai, but this is the clear version after all, and me personally, I'm not looking forward to the clear version, not only because I have the Woodward, but I just don't prefer clear versions in general. So if you want a more easily accessible Woodward, then here is your choice. It's going to be coming out in October at roughly around the same price as the Woodward itself when you buy it from the P Bandai market. Same thing goes for the second Victory. Now both of these kits are pretty good. Now I hope that the Woodward has a better waist because the leftover parts from the Heisen Blade 2 Ra and the parts that are from the Kihar 2 do actually hold up. So hopefully that issue is not going to reoccur in this kit over here, but both of these kits are actually good. Now more on the second Victory, yet you still do not get the Wings of Light that is supposed to be a P Bandai set for the Victory 2 Gundam. I'm really trying hard to not confuse you guys here, but you do have the base kit of the second Victory, which is a pretty good kit, I must say. This is also going to be an October release, a clear version for roughly around the same price as if you were buying it from the P Bandai market. And then you would have some extra Zeon weapon sets that are going to coming out at the same time, October, for 990 yen. So yeah, there are square hands, there are round hands, there are bazookas of your choice, and you can actually get a rocket propelled grenade, like a realistic proper version of rocket propelled grenade. I can't speak today. And you do have kind of like a rifle of sorts. And here are some examples of Gunpla wielding these weapons, which do look pretty cool, I might say. Let's talk about one of the memes that I posted on my channel page, because this thing right here, this is the PG Fenix. It is going to be coming out in January 2021 for 52,800 yen. Reasonable, right? But when you consider that we are going to be getting a set, if only I can find a photo, for just the tails for 8,800 yen. In the P Bandai web shop, it's going to be like 600 Hong Kong dollars. So 600 Hong Kong dollars for some goddamn tails. I don't know, take that as you will, people, but this is one step closer to a perfect grade perfectibility, but this is also kind of one step closer to the concept of a pair of legs for the real grade Zeon that may cost at least 140 Hong Kong dollars. So yeah, take that as you will. But we do have some pretty good displays when it comes to the preview photos of the Fenix narrative version, which do look pretty good. I really like the blue lights that it comes with, but unfortunately it is not using the Master Grade Extreme technology, which uses TIR, Total Internal Reflection, on the shields. So yeah, I don't know, maybe, I'm not really too sure whether or not this is a good purchase decision. It's all up to you guys because I'm not really too familiar with the perfect grade market. And next up, moving on, here we come to more memes. So first of all, here we have a Haro, Sky Blue Haro. It looks as though it's going to be a regular release. So it is going to commemorate the Walking Gundam, as so it seems, because of the Gundam Factory sticker right here. So yeah, maybe it's a regular release to commemorate that, unlike the regular versions of the RX-78F00. The 1-to-144th and 1-to-100 scale, both of those are P Bandai and Yokohama exclusive. But they do get imported, so it's not that bad in and of itself. Speaking of which, we do also have another Haro, which is, I think, an inverted Gundam Base Tokyo Haro, because I cannot tell the difference between this and that. mainly due to the fact that I don't remember what the Gundam Base Tokyo version looks like. Is it all blue with white accents or something like that? I don't know, but personally, this thing does look pretty good. Of course, it is going to be also another one commemorating the Walking Gundam. Speaking of which, here we have a regular release for December again. December. Why? December is already crammed with tons and tons of releases. I wonder how they're going to sort that schedule out, since they do not even have a schedule for October at the time of this recording, despite only having 4 regular releases. But anyways, here is a cross silhouette version of the RX-78F00 Gundam. I don't know if it's gonna include a cross silhouette frame, not really too sure about that, but if you want panel lining hell on an SD kit that will freak you out once you see it, then here you have it. A version of the RX-78F00 Gundam, but in SD cross silhouette. December release for 1,312 yen. But speaking of which, here we have a commemorative piece for a speed grade. It's not called a speed grade, unfortunately. I wish it is. But this is going to be a 1:200 scale RX-78F00 Gundam. Around the same size as the image. Well, you can scale it up, but yeah, it's 9.5 centimeters tall, which is roughly the same size as the speed grade from what I know. I'm trying to wrap my head around the variable price because it depends on the ticket you buy. So for visitors age 13 and up, it is going to be costing 1,650 yen, but it's going to cost 1,100 yen for those aged between 7 and 12. So I'm not really too sure where the price is going to be if it is going to be visitors age under 7, because as for all I know, more and more youngsters are going to get into Gunpla now that the build series is a thing. But admittedly, this is another version of the RX-78 Gundam. So let's take a pause over here and let's count the versions of RX-78-2s that we have in 2020. So we do have the Origin, Beyond Global, and of course the all Olympic versions in June. And then we have the entry grade, and then we do have the beginners build that I do not know what that is. It's going to be 6 versions to now, and then we have the F00 proper versions. We have the 1-144, 1-100, that makes it 8. We have the Gundarium one, that makes it 9, and then we do have these 2 versions, so that's gonna make it 11. So, oh my god, and I do not know if I am missing out on any variants of the Gundam, the original Gundam. So please tell me in the comments, not including the Unit 4 Gundam. I'm only strictly talking about the Granddaddy Gundam. So, as far as I know, there are 11 versions of the Granddaddy Gundam in 2020. God help me, please. Please, dear God. Now, moving on to something that is not the original Gundam. It is going to be some Advanced of Zeta crap. But don't be mistaken, this is not the Heisenflake 2 Raw getting a re-release. This is a fuel tank. So this is the second example of Bandai overcharging us with something that we can't do crap with. Of course, well, if you're talking about the Zeong legs, of course you can bend it into whatever the hell you want with it, but considering the Fennec's tails, $580 for P Bandai, perfect grade. I think it's fair. I don't know. Maybe overcharged. I don't know. But this, you are paying a proper high grade price because this is 1,650 yen. You're paying for a proper high grade in order to get just a booster tank. Well, given that you do have 2 stands that may already be implemented into the gap plant, by the way. And this is going to have 2 different colors in release. So you can either pick up the white one or pick up the blue one. But maybe, just maybe, you will have a ton of extra parts that you have nothing to do with. So, in my opinion, it is a better option to pick up the gap plans wherever it's available. But if it's not available, then if you want a fuel tank, then this is your only choice. But personally, I'd rather use 1,650 yen for a proper high grade instead of just a booster tank that I can do nothing with. That is gonna take up like 3 to 4 mobile suits worth of space on my shelf. But form your own opinions, please. Next up, we have more Advance of Zeta. This is a P-Banda Advance of Zeta Flag of Titans reprint set, listed for a February 2021 release for 2,200 yen. Now, I'm not really too sure what this is, but this says is modernized reprints of smaller scale models that released as Dengeki Hobby supplements many years ago. The set contains a 1 to 200 scale Hazel Kai, 1 to 200 scale Hazel Unit 2, a 1 to 400 scale prototype Ashmar TR3 Kahar, and a 1 to 400 scale Bizak TR2 Bigwig. So, Hazel Kai, maybe this version, and then the TR1 Hazel Unit 2, maybe this is the one. Maybe that's the one because it does kind of have the full armor equipment. And then we do have a smaller version over here for the Bizak TR2 Bigwig, because it does have a big rig. No pun intended, by the way. And of course, we do have an Ashmar over here. Now, I'm not really too familiar with this, but these are probably just, unpainted white versions, basically the ancient Gundams that may have basic articulation in that matter. And of course, we have the Bigwig and the Kihar over here, painted in their respective prominent colors. So you will need to paint in quite a bit in order to get these things to look pretty good. So if you do intend to put in the effort in, this is going to be worth it. But as it stands right here, not really too big of a fan, even if it's like a speed grade look. Not too big of a fan of this release. What I'm not a big fan of is this one over here. Yes, I screamed about not having a Hazel Owsla box release in the high grade form. Well, this is the one, because this is the TR1 Hazel Owsla next generation mass produced machine with the quote actual deployment colors for some reason. Not really too sure about Advanced Zeta lore. However, this is basically reusing the old Advanced Hazel with blue skirt armor and optical sensor. That does probably come with the Primrose. Here you have it. Now, considering the contents over here, I'm not really too sure if it does come with the actual Primrose. But if this box set does come with a separate cannon and a separate missile pod, I don't know, maybe it's worth your while painting these things and making the gigantic arm unit. Considering the fact that you may have the Hurudu 2 sets. Not sure. If you want a Titan's color Hazel Owsla, then here you go. That's going to wrap it up for this batch of news. And I will repeat here, I'm only going to be covering some insignificant news like the P-Bandai kits at the end of each month from now on. So that's going to wrap it up for me. Tell me in the comments below what you think, and I'll see you all in the next video.